thing and what I'm going for. But we killed some draconians. That's all we've really done.
Nice.
But it was the opening thing. When the adventure started, nobody had any magic of any kind. Not paladins, not clerics, anything. And so the paladins in this adventure are a tad restricted.
Right.
Just a little bit, because they want to make all their magic stuff that you can't see. So they're smiting, which is really all a paladin does anyway. Just a little bit, because they want to make all their magic.
So, here's a question, because I haven't even looked at it, and I'm going to be real honest. I don't have any plans to rush out and buy it.
Right.
Are they at all limiting paladins to having to be lawful good?
No, they didn't make anything like that. No, I think paladins should have to be lawful.
I agree.
Not necessarily lawful good, because you have
right.
like anti-paladins or whatever. But I think it should kind of mirror the deity you're crusading for.
Right. Well, not only that, but I mean, my theory on the whole thing is that you cannot be a paladin and not be lawful.
That's correct.
You can't be a monk and not be lawful. Both of those classes, with the paladin, you have to make an oath. And
that's correct.
An oath is following a set of guidelines that you have chosen to live your life by. And that would be order, so therefore you have to be lawful. A monk has to go and follow the rules of their monastery. Rules are order.
They don't have official rules to put that in place.
Yeah,
but
of course they don't.
Most any dungeon master that I would want to play with would set that. I mean, that's just the tone of the setting. You've got to go with that. And the dungeon master that I'm playing for, that's running that, he's the kind of dude where if you step outside of something that your god doesn't like, and then your fucking magic gets cut off until you atone for that shit.
Well, yeah. Like over the holiday weekend, or the long holiday weekend, I way overextend myself, and one of the things that I threw into the mix of not taking a break from games and not and hosting, my wife and I always host the holidays here, so it was and then on top of that, I was perusing around, and I think it might have been Saturday morning. I ran across the Old School Essentials role-playing game. And, of course, because of, Black Friday and Cyber Monday, everything was on sale. And I got a hell of a deal, and I picked up the Advanced Players Tome, the Advanced Referees Tome.
Oh, hell yeah.
The referee screen inserts, all of that shit. And I got them all on PDF. Because
nice.
I've got this $900 and some odd tablet here that I can look stuff up. I don't necessarily need to have a physical copy. I mean, I love physical copies of books, but I mean,
most of my Traveler stuff is PDFs. It's just a reduced cost, and I can get it right then, and well, especially because a lot of the stuff on Mongoose, it's overseas, so it might take a minute to get here a lot of time.
Right.
Whereas the PDF is just blam; it's right there.
Right. Yeah. So I got all this stuff on PDF, and so if you're not familiar with Old School Essentials, it is basic and expert D&D rules, like the real original rules from like 1979 through 81. It's not advanced D&D first edition. It's basic and expert box set. And so
where you really didn't have skills.
Yeah, well, yeah, you did, but you don't. So I read through both books. I mean, they're what 200 and some odd pages. I made it through both books in like maybe 4 hours total. I just devoured them.
Wow.
And but I will tell you, so the nice thing about it is that they went through those original rules and they cleaned it up and they took all the shit that was contradictory, because if you ever played those old school basic and expert
Yeah.
games, they would contradict themselves from one paragraph to the next. It was awful. Yeah, they
Yeah.
fixed all of that, cleared it all up, and I devoured those books in like 4 hours, and I'm like, the next big campaign that I run for my home games is going to be Old School Essentials. And I had this campaign setting that I had been writing. Originally, it was for 5e, and I had been writing it, but I kind of got stalled out because, to be real honest, the fifth edition OSR, the rules themselves of fifth edition kept getting in my way,
Right.
and I saw these rules, and I was like, well, fuck fifth edition, I don't need it, and so I've already converted everything over and written another 20 pages of new material, and that's just for the campaign guide that I'm doing, and then I will also release with it a level 1 through 3 adventure. You know, your basic your basic dungeon crawl type of adventure. Um, I am trying. I'm doing it the way they used to do it, where they didn't release an entire campaign setting all at once. That didn't come till
Right.
later. What they used to do is that you would buy a module and there would be a little bit of information in it, and then you'd buy another module and there'd be a little bit of information in it. But when you put the two modules together, you realize, oh, the world has grown a little bit, and
Yeah.
it just kept growing with each module that you buy. And so that's kind of the idea that I'm going with this. But the other thing that I didn't like about those modules is that they were very, very thin on background and plot. I mean, if you ever played Keep on the Borderlands, I keep hearing people or seeing people on Twitter and whatnot say, "Oh well, oh this was the story for Keep on the Borderlands, and you had to do this." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? There was no story. There was no background. The DM dropped you in front of a cave and just assumed that you were going to walk in. There was something about a tower off in the distance on a
Yeah.
lone hill, and then they never brought it up again. Like there was no background. There,
Yeah.
there was no plot, and so I'm going the opposite direction with mine, as I'm going to put in some decent background information, and at the very least, hooks on why would they be there. Maybe a little bit of story and lore about the area that they're in. More than 3 sentences, and then saying, "Oh, well, here's a hole in the earth. Crawl
Yeah.
inside."
Fate Core is a good system.
I haven't tried Cora. I heard it was a good system, though.
Oh man, it's really easy. I mean, man, I wrote an entire Harry Potter theme. This was before they started releasing all this new shit that had when Dumbledore and Voldemort back in their day. But I said it in World War II, and I was thinking that the thing that the big event Voldemort was doing was World War II, and my players had a great time. It's just, man, by the time you're third year at Hogwarts, nobody can stop you from doing whatever the fuck you want to do. You've learned enough spells that it's just like, okay, either I have to tell you the magic doesn't work or whatever. But I was listening to a lot of Sherlock Holmes radio broadcasts from way back in the early stuff. Yeah, and I was converting some of those into Harry Potter adventures around the castle. It was amazing how well it worked together, and he gives you good names that kind of fit into stuff, and you can listen to them, and the accents are already kind of made for you, you know. Yeah, and it was great, and it was a real big hit. I ran it at a con and had a fun time.
Nice.
So yeah, the Fate Core, man, you can do whatever you want with it. You just skills, make up whatever attributes you want, and then you roll a dice that either has a neutral or a minus or a plus. And it's real quick to see whether you had a success or a failure. I mean, very.
Yeah, I'm in love with old school essentials. Like I said, my next home D&D game is I'm going to once we're done with, we're currently towards the end of Ghost of Saltmarsh. And once we're done with that, we are going to start play testing and doing all of the stuff for my new Braunhaven campaign setting. And yeah, it should be fun. The biggest thing that so I've got a couple of old school players that played, D&D back in the day, like I did. They grew up on it, and they all rolled their eyes and are like, "Oh my God, we're gonna have to learn how to do Thaco again. I don't want to have to do algebra just to play D&D." And I'm like, "Guys, it's not that bad. I don't understand why it was so hard for us back in the day." But now I look at it, and it took me less than 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I understand this. This makes perfect sense. So, yeah, I might have to pull a couple of them kicking and screaming in, but I mean, you don't have to use Thaco. They have the calculations to do ascending AC rather than Thaco, but
Right.
you know. So, anyways, welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. If you were watching last week, you know that they are still on the planet Cordan. They um, just started a massive riot in the town of Elliton, and it is now the next day, so they're going to be finding out the results of that. But before we get started, we would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind, but these are products that we all really like. And tonight we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard Company makes beard products such as balms, butters, and co-wash beard oils. They have deodorants and they have spray-on cologne now, and each of their each of their scents is a fantasy character. Tonight I'm wearing the Hero Beard Balm, which smells of a rich cologne, but they probably have a scent that would be something that would appeal to you. So if you are a first-time purchaser, go to fablebeardco.com. They have a buy one get one free option for new customers. You can put 2 beard oils into the cart, and if you use the code FIRST when checking out in all capital letters, you will get one of those beard oils for free. If you're a fan of our Traveler games, please check out the link to our page on Obsidian Portal. It'll be down in the description below. The adventure log is written in the manner of news service articles detailing things that are going on all across the Trojan Reach and sometimes beyond. But the travelers, especially recently, have taken more of a front page news-worthy approach. So if you like the content, please go to the front page, give us a thumbs up. We like to see the fan likes. So it is the next morning, and you guys have been pretty much you're sitting in the kind of the I was going to say living room, but that's not really true. The Great Hall area of Baroness Lux's fortress, and you've been kind of glued to watching the TV all night, not really leaving, and napping here and there. And the news reports that are coming in is that you have indeed succeeded in causing some rather serious unrest. That being that there are already skirmishes that are opening up along the border, especially around Elliton. But as word travels, there are skirmishes opening up all over the place. And by morning, I mean it's not to say that open war between Baron Halley and Baron Pharaoh has completely erupted, but they are in a shooting skirmishes, which is that's not good for peace talks. So that's where that whole thing is at.
Don't we still have our friend?
Which friend?
The friend that we kidnapped from the riot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what are you doing with him?
Well, I mean, at the very least, he's naked and taped to a chair right now. I mean,
it would probably be that he would be thrown into whatever dungeons or holding cell that Baroness Lux has. And I'm going to be truthful, is that it is unlikely that this guy is ever going to leave.
oh, that's fine. I mean, there's some stuff I'd like to learn from him, like, who was his commanding officer? What kind of codes do you guys communicate with? How do you receive your orders and things like that? I would like to try to get the information with him so that way I could send out fake commands to other units in the area to perhaps, bring these peace talks to a close early.
Well, that's just it. There aren't any peace talks.
That's the idea.
Yeah, there's no peace talks going on right now. Like I said, the two sides are shooting at one another. And so remind me, was this guy a militia member or was he a... He was a paramilitary guy.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, how are you going about questioning him? What is your technique? How are you doing this?
It's going to be like in Reservoir Dogs, isn't it? We're opening up the trunk. There's the guy. We're all going to argue about what to do.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, a lot of that would depend on him. If he's being a pain in the ass about stuff, we might have to go to other, we might have to take things a little bit to the dark side to bring out his stuff. But, if he's kind of willing to say something, I mean, hey, maybe we can work out a deal that if we leave, we can, maybe employ him to come with us rather than live in a jail cell. Or maybe he could work for our the Baron or Baroness of our choice in the future after the war. So, yeah. Right now,
he is absolutely not willing to talk about anything. His only response so far is to give name, rank, and serial number. Like, to every question. It's like, are you thirsty? He gives name, rank, and serial numbers. You want some food? Name, rank, and serial number.
Sure.
Okay.
I do 9 steps to interrogation if anybody's interested.
I just cleaned my office, so I put all my books away. But I can try and read his thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
While
do
you're
that.
reading the thoughts, I'll go over all the questions, so at least the thought might go through his head.
Right.
You can ask
He
the
may not say it
questions.
out loud, but he'll think about the answers.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
So do you want to do a read surface thoughts?
Let's see. Let me grab my book again. Sorry, I have a friend coming actually from Portland tomorrow, and so I frantically fake cleaned everything.
Oh, I know how that goes.
And so now it's like, well, my dice might be in one of these drawers. I don't really know. It's a bit of a blur.
We had 5 people over for Thanksgiving, and then my monthly game that happens on Sundays, I had 9 players, and so
holy cow! Yeah.
Pretty much half the room ended up under the bed.
Right on. Let's see.
I mean, it looks clean, so.
Yeah, my office looks real clean. It everything's very well hidden. Let's see. Well, I don't know how much deeper I can go than surface thoughts. Let's see.
Let's see here.
Read surface thoughts.
Well, you could do a probe, but it's a very difficult telepathy check.
Yeah, no, I'll just do surface thoughts and see if I can get anything that way.
Okay.
Okay. Since I can't find my dice, I have to remind myself how to roll electronic dice. I'm sorry, I'm so ill prepared.
No, you're fine. It's the icon on your toolbar on the left. It's the second from the bottom.
Okay, perfect.
And then you can either click on that and put in your bonuses, and it'll just automatically do it. Or you can also, in the chat window, type /roll, and you can say like /roll 2d6 plus 2, and it would roll 2d6 and add 2 to it.
Cool. Let's see, my side is, yes, plus 2. And then, yeah, that's still true, right? I mean, I know we made the updates. I have 10 points to spend.
Yes. Yep. And read service thoughts is an average 8+ telepathy check. It's got a long reach, and it costs 2 psych points.
Okay. So then is it 2d6 plus my modifier?
It would be,
or plus the...
It would be 2d6 plus your telepathy skill plus your psi modifier.
Okay.
And that psi modifier will go down as you spend points. Right.
Okay.
Just like any other stat.
Okay. Sorry that I need the reminder. It's been a while. Okay, there we go. 9.
That is a success. So you are picking up that, I mean, this guy, it's obvious from his thoughts, you already know that this guy, I mean, it's stuff that you already basically know, that he's a member of Baron Halley's paramilitary forces. There are thoughts on, that he hopes that his unit made it out okay, that, obviously there's thoughts that he's in pretty deep shit right now. And then, of course, over and over and over again, in his head, he just keeps reciting his name, rank, and serial number. This guy doesn't seem like he... So with your 9 on your read service thoughts, in reality, these guys are not much better than Baron Pharaoh's militia. Whereas Baron Pharaoh's militia would be like if the Proud Boys were given a badge and set loose. Whereas these guys are like the Proud Boys that then went through like a 4-week military training crash course. Not like anything extensive. Basic military, like half of basic training kind of shit. Mm-hmm. They know how to start a fire. They know how to pitch a tent. They know how to take orders, and they kind of understand the chain of command. But aside from that, most of it was, how to operate, clean your weapon, proper aiming techniques, how to use a bladed weapon. That's what he's thinking about right now. But you are... so while you are doing that... Man, I almost reached for dice. See, I'm doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Well, we'll just do it that way. So you have this connection for 60 seconds. So that means the other 3 of you in this minute, how are you questioning? What are you asking?
Where is the closest fuel depot from the insert name of the town where we abducted him from?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Persuasion plus intellect or I'm sorry, yeah, persuasion plus intellect in this case. You can either be persuasive or you can be just make a persuasion check. Keep forgetting there's no real intimidate check. It's all rolled into persuasion.
Right. +1. Seven.
He rattles off his name, rank, and serial number. Ching Shi, on the other hand, you pick up images and thoughts of the nearest fuel depot or fuel dump being a small camp. And when I say fuel dump, it's basically 2 tanker trucks that they were using to 2 tanker trucks full of hydrogen that they were using to refuel the Socrates field cars and the Parthenon armored vehicles. And it's maybe 3 kilometers outside of out of the town of Elliton. And then the next bit of that is that beyond that, the only real thought on his mind is, as far as a major base, would be Baron Halley's fortress. Keith, do you have a question for him?
Okay, not to.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a question for the paramilitary guy here. I'm not really the strategy guy.
Okay. What about Captain Beth?
Have you thought of a career in the exciting world of pirating?
Go ahead and make a persuasion plus intellect check.
Oh, okay. 9.
He kind of cocks his head and looks at you, and then he rattles off. Like he looks at you like he got a sudden flash of realization, and then he rattles off his name, rank, and serial number. Ching Shi, you pick up that this guy has realized that all of you are actually wanted fugitives.
Uh-oh. I'm feeling sorry for him now.
See, but he can keep his mouth shut. That's like a really good skill.
Yeah, if he wants to, but who says he'd want to?
We'll see what he does with it. He can come with us or probably die. I mean...
That's true. Come with us or probably die. That's fair.
Yeah, Baroness Lux, so she was a little peeved that you brought him back. And, and the reason for that being is that, and she doesn't really candy coat it in any way, is that if this guy leaves, then he knows that you guys were obviously working for her, and that kind of blows the entire plan.
Sure.
So if we get him to work with us, then we'll have just as much shit on him. And then if we don't, then, you made a kind of a dumb choice and won't live very long.
Well,
okay, I'm on board with that plan.
We can also leak this information about where the closed fueling trucks are to the opposing faction. And drop his name with the information. So, then, his bridge is burned if rumor gets out that he sold out the other faction and now they know where the fueling depot is, and that's why that hit got done. Then there's blood on his hands. His wife and kids might have a hard time that night.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we got a pretty solid plan. So it's up to him what he wants to do.
Yeah. Now we're going to tell him. I think we could tell him. That's actually what we're intending to do is, we're gonna leak his name and all of that with to the other faction, and they're gonna go hit your fueling trucks, and they're gonna say, "Yeah, man, fucking Jake said fuck, suck a dick," and yeah, there you go, and so yeah, you're gonna have a bad time if you ever do go home.
make a persuasion plus intellect check, and you can make that with a boon. So roll 3 and take the 2 highest.
So that looks like 10.
Okay. So on a 10, this time he doesn't rattle off, his name, rank, and serial number. Instead, he says, so it's clear all the news reports about you were completely true. You are completely the enemy of the people, and you would do this kind of thing and hurt somebody's family to get what you want.
We would sell your family to augment raiders if we thought it would further our cause. We don't give a flying fuck.
Let me just good cop a little.
If you cross us, we're going to cut your arms and legs off and call you Bob, and you will just be a random comic staying on the side of our ship as we go around killing people.
So this is all for the ultimate greater good. Probably not as convincing as what Ting had to say, but just throwing that in there.
He says the greater good. From the way it looks to me, it looks like Baroness Lux is attempting to do a complete coup and overthrow of the current political system of the planet, so that she's the only one in charge.
Oh, your political system. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Captain.
There were 3 people vying for the power of the planet. This was going to happen eventually, now or later. So you're going to drag it out or rip that Band-Aid off.
Go ahead and make a... that's compelling. Go ahead and make a persuasion check plus intellect with a boon. So roll 3 and take the 2 highest.
12.
Wow. Okay. So he kind of nods, and he can see the wisdom in what you're saying. I mean, he tells you that he says, well, that's probably true. This was eventually probably going to be the outcome and was going to be what happened. But the reality is that until you instigated this, and he says, I'm going to make the assumption that you were responsible for the assassination of Josephus Agraki. He says, until you ignited that fire, it was unlikely that things were going to head in this current direction.
They would head in a worse direction. You've soiled your alliance with the Imperium, and you're getting ties to death. We are giving you liberation from that and putting you under one rule and a solid government to have your back with the Drinax Empire. You should be thankful to become a subject instead of a toy.
So when you bring up how they had sullied their relationship with the Empire, he goes a little bit pale, and Ching Shi, the last thought that you read from him is that nobody's supposed to know about that. And so the rumor that Baron Halley is currently under trade tariffs from the Imperium is true.
And the way I see it is somebody's hiring mercenaries. We could have said no. Somebody less skilled would have been hired, and things may have gone worse.
Okay.
Our humanitarian side was shown we use stun grenades and not plasma grenades. Just saying.
Yeah, they could have just hired somebody, and they could have just wiped them off the map completely. Just killed everyone, so she's charged.
So, his response is, "You've given me something to think about," and he says, "Can I have a couple of hours to think on this?"
Of course. This guy is smart and he can keep his mouth shut. I think he'll be an asset if he joins.
Well, I wouldn't claim he's too smart. I mean, like I said, he's a bubba with a badge.
He's smart enough to be like, huh? Well, yeah, I should think about that. And I don't know.
I mean,
that's smart.
He looks like his unit's motto is "No meal left behind." So you guys kind of step out of this room, and Baroness Lux's advisor comes down, and he is holding a very official looking, like that dark special manila folder that you sometimes see in law offices. And he says to Beth, he says, if you and your crew will come with me, we've made arrangements for payment.
That's my favorite thing to arrange for. Let's go.
So he takes you up to an office. Baroness Lux at this point is off officially doing something official. Nobody really knows what. Everybody claims it's very, very important, though. And he has a large desk that he sits behind, and he opens this manila folder, and it is land deed documents. And he essentially signs over this land grant to you guys. And there is a line for each of you to sign. It will be equally owned by all of you, and not just you, but also by Ox and Rexar as well. And by the way, Rexar says he's sorry he couldn't make it. He's packing and getting ready to leave for his birthday trip. So he's going to Newport. He's going to be 25. God, he's young. Every time I'm reminded of how young he is, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I'm 25 twice.
Right? Yeah. Next year's going to be my second 25th birthday. So he there's a spot for all of you to sign, and he slides it in front of you. And what this document essentially reads is that there is, and I could probably show you where it is on this map. Well, we will just go ahead and pick here. It is a small town farming community. In the middle of that is a baronial estate, essentially what they're calling a castle, from a baronial family called Argenstein that is no longer around. As to what happened to them, you don't know. Probably, seeing how things go on Cordan in the current climate, probably not something good. But like I said before, the planet Cordan, there was actually many barons, and they have over time whittled themselves down to these final 3. And so this place is just sitting empty. And it gives you the rights to impose taxes on the town and farmsteads in the radius around the baronial castle. And it gives you full access to the castle. The castle has its own landing pad that will support up to 600-ton ships. And it is I can tell you, it is a 3-story fortress. And all you have to do is sign your names to this, and he will stamp it, and it is yours.
Let's do it.
Let's
It's
do
signing.
that, and then let's help our friends come back here and
Yes.
kill whatever barons or baronesses are left, and run this planet for ourselves.
Shit. Well, that could be a little difficult. Well, yeah, that could be a little difficult. They have, quite simply, they have more numbers. But I mean, that's that. I like your ambition. It's not impossible. So they you sign it. He stamps it, closes the folder, gives you the main documents. They keep a copy for their records. It's all very official and legal, and it gives you directions to this baronial castle. You are welcome to. They can arrange for a shuttle to take you there, or if you would like, you can go to the starport and actually fly your own ship there. I mean, you are officially citizens of Cordan now. Man, there's gonna be no living with Rexar because that means his territory just went up by 1.
Do we have
Awesome.
a title
So-
that comes with this? Or
I'm sorry, what was that?
can we have a title that comes with this? I mean, we get this really cool castle and a citizen. Is a title, Duke, Knight, something?
I mean, no. I mean, it's not that. Technically, being a baroness, she is. It is within her rights to give out a title, but that's not something that is in the cards just yet. That could be something that may happen further down, because obviously now that you have real estate here, you're going to spend more time on Cordan.
No.
So the question is,
Okay.
do you want to take her shuttle, or do you want to take the Harrier and land it at your new home?
I think we should practice landing there.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's not a bad idea. All right.
The citizens seeing the Anubis come down and land will let them know, fuck around and find out.
That's true. Yeah. Well, yeah. The citizens are mostly going to be like, "Oh my god, I hope they don't try to oppress me."
Help! I'm being repressed.
I'm being repressed. Yes.
Being repressed.
Yes. 200-ton Harriers landing at the ducal castle is really no form of government. So Qing Shi, you guys lift off from the starport. Qing Shi, make a piloting plus dex check.
Okay. Texas to piloting, yes. Yeah, that's +5. 11.
Yeah, you have no problem at all. Now, this is the ground level of your castle. This here is the landing pad, and it leads through a heavily guarded little walkway here to this room, which is also it's I mean, when you walk in, it essentially looks like a mud room, except that there are numerous lockers for holding vac suits or uniforms, and there's of course a weapons rack, because what mud room doesn't need a weapons rack? These lockers and the weapons rack are all completely empty. And when you open these double doors, there is this large entrance chamber. The main doors up to the north here are double doors that lead down to a road that goes north to the peasantry. There is, of course, this room that is a small bar and recreation pool room. This room is a library. reading nook, smoking room, etc. There is the kitchen over here, and then there is a meeting room, conference room here. And there are these two stairs that lead up to the second level.
Well, this is awesome.
Are we wanting to set up some ground rules? I mean, if we're going to be away a lot, I suggest that we be real liberal and friendly to our subjects and not tax the living fuck out of them or any of that.
So the first thing that you notice coming in here is that there's a lot of dust. You know, a lot of the furniture that is left is covered with, you know, white blanket or white sheets. But for the most part, the place has been cleared out. Like, anything of real value is gone. And there are no staff, so you'll have to hire staff. And essentially the feeling that you've got here is that the townsfolk are either paying taxes to Lux, which will now be transferred to you, and you would have, or they're not paying taxes at all. So you would need to set what your tax rate is and hire, you know, staff, things like that. But this is the second floor. This is essentially living area. So there is once again a cozy entrance hall here at the top of the stairs. These on either side of this platform, there is a circular staircase that goes up to the third level. And then there are bedrooms. This is actually a small, you know, essentially, I was going to say linen closet. It's a storage closet for bedding and table refinery, things like that. This is a rather elegant, grand dining hall. This, of course, is a fresher because, you know, you got to have the shitter next to the dining hall. And so, yeah, you can pick which rooms you want to stay in.
I picked one.
All right, I was going to say, Captain should pick first.
Which one's haunted?
None of them are haunted.
Okay, good.
Oh, man.
This means we haven't killed people the right way here.
Yeah, I guess so. That's a good
I
one.
don't want to be near the bathroom, so if I'm going to choose this one.
Which one?
This one.
Okay. You'll note that each of these rooms has its own electric gas fireplace.
Very swank.
Yeah. We aim to please.
I'll take this corner over here.
The quiet space.
Okay.
Far away from everybody.
Actually, that's probably... Oh, come on. Don't be a pain in the ass. There we go. That's better. So, Ting, you're taking this one? Is that what you're...
Yes. Yeah, if no one else wants it. I mean, it's a small one, and it's tucked over next to the bathroom.
I'm just dropping your tokens here, so so we know where everybody's room ends. So where did Captain Beth want to be? I'm sorry, where?
Right
Okay.
there.
Okay. There we go. All right. So, it's funny because you guys took the rooms on. Most of you took rooms on the southern end. Keith took the room with the fancy bed up here. This room, so up north, this corner room seems to be like the master suite, and this room that it connects through is like would be like where whoever's sleeping in the master suite, their personal valet or attendant would sleep in this room, so that they are next to you at all times, ready to dress you, brush your teeth, whatever they feel needs to be done for you. Up the double staircase, or up the two circular staircases, is the top level. Now, the top level is mostly given over to office space. However, in the southeast quadrant, there is a pool.
Ooh.
Rooftop pool. And then there is, these offices that are throughout. This office and this office being for somebody who would act as personal advisors or secretaries. And then, of course, there's this large entry hall here that's really set up to be for anybody that would be coming to see somebody at the offices. It would be kind of that obligatory eye candy that you would be awed at whoever would be in power here.
This seems like a good place to set up some kind of front in the future.
Oh,
We have a nice office building. Yeah.
yeah, completely.
We could probably set official Drinax representatives up here to coordinate, selling all the food to Tech World and making sure we get our cut and all of that.
Oh, totally.
I mean,
This could be your official front for diplomatic meetings, things like this. Could be your White House, while not telling everybody that you're essentially cutthroats and brigands.
yeah. Anything we tell them won't be as bad as the mystery of the unknown.
Yeah. Although the unknown is seems to be catching up with you. So then of course, the last question. You've been given this castle, so it's time to talk amongst one another about what you want to set up for a tax rate for the peasantry. You could go so far as to say that everybody. So if you remember, on Cordan, the only true citizens, the only ones counted in the census, are people that actually live in the baronial state. The people that live in the towns and whatnot are never even counted. They have no rights. They're not citizens. So you technically could say, you know what? Everybody on our lands are now citizens, which would give them all rights. And it's entirely up to you how far you want to go with that.
I think since we're about to, we've got friends we've got to go try to save or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
I think we should just go into the town and grab mayor or whatever and tell them this is a chance to show what kind of ruler they deserve. If they deserve citizenship and all that, then, things would happen that we would be able to notice. Our shit would be all cleaned up there, and everything up here would be functioning nice and everything. And, a small voluntarily collection plate passed around right now would go far as to set the tone on what they believe is fair. and then when we come back, we can adjust accordingly.
Are citizens taxed?
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, then who gives a shit? Sure, be a citizen. Then most people will come over here, and then we'll get more taxes.
And we'll get more people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, see that's part of the unrest that you sparked is that these people are now so the people that are in the towns are realizing that they're being taxed. They're not citizens. They have no rights. They can't legally unionize. They're basically slave labor. And of course, because they're taxed so much, they don't have the income to pack up and leave. Wow, this sounds eerily familiar. Oh, I can't put my the United States. So they can't pack up their shit and leave, and so they're forced into this situation. And you guys showed them the violent way of trying to enact change, them believing that things possibly could be better under Baroness Lux. I mean, she, did give her people that Tech Level 9 hospital with the children's ward, and she's been really nice to her people. So, that right now seems like the better bet. You know that money is going to run out eventually, but the people don't know that.
Well, they deserve a chance. If they want to be citizens, they can roll on over here, and we'll grant it.
Yeah.
Bam, you're citizens.
So, did you want to go with Ting's idea of saying, "Hey, we got shit to do. Talk to the mayor and tell him, if you guys get in there and staff the place and clean it up, and give us what you think is fair as a collection for tax, and then when we come back, we can look at that and discuss it." Is that a good overall of what you're suggesting, Ting?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying is, I mean, back when I was into construction and stuff, I mean, it was common to show up on a job site and not even discuss pay until the end of the day. Show them what you can do, and if you got a lot done and you had leadership capabilities and was you get paid more. And if you did a bunch of stupid stuff, they would give you some money right there and tell you not to come back.
Right.
I mean, yeah, and so that's how that worked. And I mean, if they've already kind of got someone somewhat running the things already in town, let's give them a chance to show us what they've got. You can be the intern chief right now. They could maybe even set up an office up in here, so that would give them a reason to get this place humming and going. And if we don't like what they've done, then we kill them, and the next people that come in will try
to
do better.
You take corporate termination to the literal end.
Is their citizenship contingent on them doing a good job, though?
I don't know. It's up to you.
I don't want to do that if that's part of it. I want to just make them citizens.
I'm all fine with just giving them citizens. We can even move towards giving them a vote and all of that. The more freedoms they think they've got, the less they'll cry about us taking money.
This is starting to remind me of that Futurama episode where Bender meets God. And he keeps trying to give them too much and they end up killing themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, let's give them citizenship and then say, this is your chance to make a good society. Show us what you can do.
Yeah, build yourself an economy, get those farms to grow in and those cows to fuck in and whatever you're doing, get it going and get it going good. Make lots of money and donate it to us.
Okay.
Fuck off and
we can even get somebody and have them stand outside in front of our castle and ring a bell and stand next to a pot for people to put their money in.
Just just put a ding-a-ling out on your front porch and,
Yeah.
So, so then the question is, so you go and you present this to the mayor, um, and the mayor has he doesn't know what to say. He's staring at you slack-jawed like this is completely unheard of. And he refers to you guys as the new barons. And I mean, you can name the castle whatever you want. I'll leave that up to you. Right now, it's just labeled as Traveler's Castle on my maps. But then he nods and agrees wholeheartedly that everybody will become citizens. He says he thinks that he can get this situation up and running for you by the time that you return, and he believes that the town is essentially self-functioning at this point. They're far enough away from the baronial lines where the conflict isn't really reaching you guys. He thinks that he can get this up and running and not have too many difficulties. He thinks that his major problem at this point, especially with the fear of coming war, is getting the town's product to market, because of course the town's product, the bulk of it's going to be purchased by by the Imperium. Now, if you wanted to set up contacts to start delivering that food elsewhere, you could do that now.
Oh, we definitely want it sent to Tech World, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, the law level of the planet with the guns thing, like who enforces that? Can this mayor be like, nope, our town is open?
Yeah, you could set the law level essentially to whatever you want in your territory. So hold on here.
Yeah, everyone's allowed to carry guns then.
We like guns.
Yeah. Especially when war is coming. If everybody has a gun and knows how to use it, it's going to be harder to take over.
We're going to give you lots of rights and lots of guns, and we're going to think it's going to work out great. That's what we're doing.
Well, I mean,
lots of taxes.
That could come back to bite you in the ass.
Yes.
Definitely could.
Well, that's fine. Too. If they take over and they revolt and take the castle, I kind of am okay with that. Honestly, I feel like good for them. It's like you're up as well for themselves, kind of thing. We'll just leave. It'll be okay.
As we nail them with a couple nukes on our way out, good for them.
Feelings, good for them. They stood up for themselves, and I'm okay. I got plenty of stuff.
Really, our main concern, I mean, just my personal thing is if they start sending food to Tech World, so that gives a little check on our needs for Tech World.
That's true.
So,
yeah, let's hope it keeps going.
I think we want to keep this place for ourselves for now. I mean, I'm not a proponent of just letting them take it over if they want to.
Well, they live here, and we barely will, I think.
Well, I think we'll have a lot of need for this kind of a setup. So.
Well, then we'll show up and do a good job, and then, why would they want to fuck that up?
Yeah.
I mean, they should know when we show up that ours is the asses to kiss. And yes, they should know that, and we'll go show up, and we'll do whatever it is we'll do, and they'll be okay with that, or we'll deal with the problems.
So right now, the law level, which is pretty much the blanket law level for the planet, is law level 7, which means that the only weapons that are allowed to be carried are blades, any bladed weapon, and stunners. Battle dress, combat armor, flak, cloth, and mesh armor are all restricted and banned.
What's the next lowest or more permissive level, say.
So law level 6 says that you can carry shotgun stunners, though carrying weapons is discouraged.
What about like 4?
Yeah, I want like the Wild West. You can carry a pistol wherever kind of situation. I think that might be best.
So law level 4, light assault weapons, submachine guns, military weapons, portable energy and laser weapons, of course, poison gas, explosives, undetectable weapons, and weapons of mass destruction are would all be banned.
Okay, so my question is, if it's our territory and we theoretically are the law, then why would we not set the law level high but carry whatever we want?
You could.
That's what I was thinking too.
We could keep the law level as it is.
Yeah,
but
leave it as what the citizens are used to, or what the inhabitants are used to. But in our territory, we carry whatever we want.
Yeah, and if you want to upgrade your carrying capacity or whatever, you could join our military and police force.
I like that.
And with that, you could, you could get some armor and some, a good ACR would be fine, or whatever, within reason.
So we're not going to be here most of the time, and anybody could waltz in and start a conflict and fuck with these people. That's why I want them to be armed.
Well, that's why we should have some police or military.
Yeah, you could assign. You could tell the mayor to basically create a militia for you. These are not going to be highly trained individuals, but
what is the population?
They do have access to rifles. Nothing automatic.
So we can vote, and whatever the majority decides is fine, I guess. So I've read like guerrilla warfare and stuff, and it seemed like a pool of people who are armed and know how to shoot a gun is like tactically superior to having all your force concentrated into like a minority of people who've been trained.
True.
You don't know where the fuck it's going to come from, and you don't know which person you're shooting is going to,
Well, and that was going to be my comment on law levels, is that if you're setting up your own law level, the one thing that comes to mind for me is that the question really is, do you feel more comfortable when you look out the window and you see everybody has a pistol on their hip? Or do you feel more comfortable looking out the window and not knowing who has a pistol hidden in their jacket? Because the reality of the matter is that if you set the law level high and nobody's allowed to carry guns, you'll look out that window and I can guarantee you there's going to be a percentage of people that are walking around with a gun in their jacket.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like us.
Right. Again, just like us.
We could make all adults obligated to defense of the town and infrastructure, and they should collect some kind of firearm and maintain it.
Sure.
I mean that could be real easy. If you're an adult and shit comes around, it's your job to get a gun and shoot them fuckers.
That's not a bad situation to have in place, especially with the current strife that you guys have orchestrated.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could, like I said, you could leave the tech level at 7, or if you wanted, I don't know, my recommendation, if you wanted to go the route where everybody was going to be visibly armed and charged with protecting the town and the estate, you could even go as low as tech level 1, or law level 1, which basically just limits. It just basically means that poison gas, explosives, and undetectable weapons or weapons of mass destruction would be a no. That's out. But almost everything else is okay. They wouldn't be allowed to wear battle dress around town, which is not a bad
anyway.
thing.
How many of them can afford that anyway?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, these newfound freedoms. There's not even a market in place to arm all these people. I mean, those things would just still be in their baby stages by the time we got back and checked in on everybody.
True.
I mean, that's
So I think it was 4 seemed pretty reasonable, right?
Yeah, four is light assault weapons and submachine guns are banned. Military weapons, portable energy and laser, poison gas explosives, WMDs. For armor, cloth, flak, combat armor, and battle dress would be banned.
That seems fine to me. Everybody can weigh in with agree or disagree, I guess.
I agree.
All right.
I like level 4. That makes sense.
Okay. So law level 4. Again, the mayor is just.
Yeah, this is going to be a big change.
Yeah, he's in shock. Like you've opened up their freedoms. You've basically given them the ability to more or less rule themselves. So he's ready to get cracking on this and get things started for you. The question then comes about is what is your next plan from here? Because you've set this in motion so that hopefully when you come back, at least you'll have a clean place to sleep, and you know you can move forward with diplomatic ties. But you do have pirates that are in jail that are going to be likely executed in like 30 weeks. So
that's really an important priority because if we don't bail them out, then anybody else has an alliance with us is going to doubt that it's like a safe thing to do. So we need to go and deal with this with like extreme prejudice. Like
that's Marduk.
Yeah.
Yep, that's on Marduk. So that I have a map for this time. I think. Yes. So you are here on Cordan, and this is Marduk. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're probably looking at with refueling, you're probably looking at about 6.5 weeks worth of jump time. It's 4 weeks of just jump space. In 1 week at a time, but it's going to be four 1 week jumps, and of course 2 or 3 days worth of refueling in between. Do you have a plan for when you get there?
I guess we need to learn more about what everybody's on a ship waiting to be executed.
So no, the ship that was caught was the Free Sparrow, or was it? Yes, the Free Sparrow, and it was a fast trader, excellent little smuggling ship. It was a Type A3 fast trader, and the reality was they were caught by the Sincerity. And basically, well, they weren't caught. They were told to heave to for boarding. And they said no and tried to run. And the downside of a Type A3 fast trader is that it is, compared to a patrol corvette, it is severely undergunned. And their fast trader was shot up pretty bad. It has now been impounded. And the crew was taken to a holding facility at Marduk Downport. So they are planet side. So the thing is that they are charged with piracy and all of everything that goes along with that. But the fact of the matter is they weren't caught pirating anything.
Okay, so if we interfere, it'll kind of confirm
Well,
you were pirating.
they've already been convicted, and
Oh, shit then. Okay.
the court, the captain of Sincerity, Captain Sanistaw, was not only the prosecutor, he was the judge.
Ah, I see. That's really fair.
But being a naval man of, he's got to follow the rules, make sure he's doing things properly. He has sent word back to the naval base on Rilgar, requesting guidance as to what the punishment should be. Now, the punishment, it's pretty known that the punishment is generally death, unless the prisoners can give them something, a tastier snack. But so far, you haven't heard anything where they've cut a deal. I mean, and right now, because you haven't used your new fake identities yet, you're still wanted. So right now, if you jump into Marduk space, and if Sincerity sees you, they're gonna light up like a Christmas tree.
We're going to come in as the Nubis, where we're not attached to the Nubis. I mean, our reputation is not.
Okay. So yeah, you can do that.
I want to land and go to the holding facility and murder everyone that's not our friends.
I love that idea. That sounds wonderful. And if we can get a chance to get on to the other ship, if we could steal their Corvette and put that in our pirate fleet, that would be the hat trick right there.
It would, yes. We just be brutal.
100% endorse this plan. I like where you guys are going with this.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we take everything, and that is we assimilate.
So you are activating the ship registry for Anubis, but you're not activating your individual new identities.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Get out of the camera.
So, Ching Shi, go ahead and somebody make an astrogation plus intellect or education check.
On it. Let's see. Astrogation. Oh, wait, 2d6 plus
either intellect or education modifier.
Okay, so it'd be plus a total of 4, so 10.
Okay, and Ching Shi, make a piloting plus dex check.
Okay. Piloting plus dex. This one. 10.
Okay. Cordan, look up here. Cordan is 4 AU from its star. 4 AU, man, that is a fuck ton. Come on now. And are you flooring it to get to the the 90 diameter jump limit?
Do we have anything to fear here?
We just want to get out of here. We want to get there, right?
Right.
As fast as possible.
I don't think there's anything. We're not hiding from anything in this system, I don't think.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's book it.
Okay. So it takes you about 111.2 hours to get to the 100 diameter jump limit. And Keith can then make a engineering J drive plus intellect or education, and you get that with a +2.
14.
Wow. Yeah, you guys just don't have to worry about misjumping.
Pretty much.
You guys kind of have this nailed. So this is you've been to Marduk before, and I believe you saw part of this. You didn't see the top part of this, so I found this extremely interesting because I didn't know this either, and it's not really given in the description of Marduk. But Marduk isn't a planet. Marduk is actually a moon of a large gas giant that is only 0.26 AU from a K7 5-star, which I thought was quite interesting. And this gas giant has rings. It is orbited by another moon that is considered what they call a big world. So it's like a super Earth. Doesn't look like it's very habitable. But Marduk itself, the moon is quite nice. So I found that kind of interesting. Qingxi. Well, first of all. No, you guys are not even detected when you come in. .26 AU. Yeah, you guys can get there in like 7 hours. So Qingxi, go ahead and make a another piloting plus dex check. Oh, nice. So then the question is, where are you going? So right here is Marduk Downport. But over, well, it was like right over here. If you remember, you guys found a small village of basically the ancestors of survivors from when Marduk was beat to shit by the Sindalian Empire. And no researchers believed that these people actually exist. That is where the A3, the Free Sparrow, had landed. And so Captain Sanistaw suspected that there was some kind of holdout, pirate hold, and was going to send in his Imperial Marines.
Yeah, let's check over there.
Okay. So Qingxi brings the Anubis down, and the situation is grave. As you are coming into land, you can see that there are numerous buildings that have been put to flame. Not just flame, it looks like they were hit by either plasma or fusion gunfire. There are a number of bodies just laying around in the fields. There are a number of those, I forget their name. There's a number of those, they're like a hyena, wolf, coyote dog.
Yeah.
Critters.
Yeah, there's a number of those critters running around, and that they flee as soon as the ship comes into land. But you can see that this town has been hit pretty hard.
Are there survivors?
Yeah.
Well, are you gonna suit up and go search for survivors?
I thought maybe the sensors could find them.
That's possible. Go ahead and make who wants to make an electronic sensors plus intellect or education check?
Dang, right?
Still get an extra +2 from the ship. Is that correct?
You do.
That's 12.
Okay. So you do pick up that there are some you pick up neural activity. So there are either survivors, or you're picking up the neural activity of any Marines that were left behind. You don't see that there's another ship.
Okay, let's suit up just in case.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
check it out.
All right.
But is there any comm activity?
No. Well, if so, yeah, there's no comm activity either. So that's a good sign because these people have had like no technology. So you guys get out and start to poke around, and like I said, there are a lot of bodies. Everybody can make a recon plus intellect check.
I got a 12. I did good.
Okay.
Keith got one.
Okay.
I got a 12.
All right. So, looks like everybody except for Ching Shi, but we'll get to Ching Shi in just a moment. So Beth, Keith, and Ting, you can see that there are signs where somebody has come through and attempted to try to bury some of these bodies.
Aww.
Ching Shi, you see out of the corner of your eye that there is you see somebody hiding in a burned out building, keeping an eye on you.
Okay. Well, obviously, I'm going to alert the team.
Okay.
Should I go and investigate or wait until? I mean, if they're keeping an eye on us, that seems fair. What do you think, Captain?
I guess they don't recognize us or they'd come out and talk.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll come back and talk to them if we can't find anybody that recognizes us, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that landing here and just like calling out would be a great idea. I already burnt 2 of my points, but I can look for.
Well, you would have those points would be back now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because it's been a week, so.
Okay.
You start
I'm looking
getting
at my.
points back after 3 hours. From the
Oh,
last
is it? I
time
had no
they
idea.
used. Yeah, it's you. The last time you use your Psi, you wait 3 hours and you get 1 point an hour.
Cool.
My understanding.
Then I think I'd like to. What's the closest to detect life? Because I have clairvoyance.
Hold on here. Well, you could do life detection, which is telepathy.
Yeah. That's in telepathy. Life detection. And it's easy. I like it. Let's do it.
Okay.
That rocks. It goes out to a distant.
Yeah, it goes way out.
Yeah, that's up to 5 kilometers. I mean, and you could pump it up if you wanted.
I think it's probably fine.
Right.
Oh.
Or I'll try it like this, and if I'm not getting anything reliable, put more oomph into it and try again.
Okay.
So,
oh yeah.
8.
So you do life detection, and so the one thing with life detection is that it does tell you, it gives you specifics. So it does tell you that there are 10 sentient minds in the area.
Okay.
It also tells you that there are a number of what would be non-sentient minds. The larger of them, there's 7 of the Garanambrites, which are the hyena coyote things.
Sure.
You pick up a number of I was going to say bird brains. The number of you're detecting a number of the Marduk sparrow birds in the area, but
Sure.
but the ones that you are really picking up are about 10 of these humanoid minds.
Right. Are they together?
They seem scattered.
Okay.
And from what you are picking up with life detection, because I mean it's not like you can visually see them, but in your mind's eye you would be picking up almost like an infravision kind of view. You can tell that they are in positions where they are hiding.
Okay. Well, obviously I'm going to convey all of that. Is there a certain direction to go in? I mean, I know you said they're all over, but
well, the closest one is there's this burned out building that's about 8 meters away from you, and you know that there's somebody hiding in this burned out building that is watching you.
Okay.
I guess let's try and talk to her first then.
Yeah, let's do it. Head in that direction.
Okay.
With perhaps as unthreatening a look as possible, given what we're wearing.
Right. So, you recognize as you get closer to this building, you see that whoever is hiding is a young girl, and she kind of bolts out, but she doesn't have anywhere to go. And so she bolts out and just turns to you and drops to her knees. Beth, Keith, and Ching Shi, you recognize the girl as Eklaya. And Eklaya was one of the natives that you had met previously.
Oh shit. Can we give her anything? Is she physically okay?
She's mostly physically okay. She seems like she's maybe a little she's got scrapes and bruises and looks like she's in serious need of a bath, but aside from that, you can't see anything that is of major life-threatening injuries to her.
Okay. So I want to ask her if the people here mostly died or mostly got taken away.
So she starts to relay the story, and as she's telling you the story, more of the other 9 survivors of this little village come out. And if you remember, this village was actually kind of hidden very well, because it's hidden in the ruins of what was 2,000 years ago was a city. And so it is completely overgrown, and they made their village in the city ruins. So it's perfectly camouflaged. Well, I wouldn't say perfectly camouflaged. Obviously, it's not perfectly camouflaged. The story that she relays to you and is backed up by the leader, Amalia, and the old man, Lorne, they were among the survivors, is that a small ship came down on a column of fire, and men, and they're looking at Ching Shi. Is Keith wearing battle dress?
I would be wearing battle dress right now,
Okay.
yes.
So she looks at the three of you and she says, men wearing what you're wearing, except that it was painted completely red. They came out of this ship and had weapons that could shoot at long range. Basically, what she's describing are high rates of fire, and they had guns that she describes it as guns that were able to spew out the sun.
Ah, shit. So they mostly killed people? Did they take anybody captive?
She didn't see them take anybody captive. They came down, burned the village, killed as many as they could visibly see, got back into their ship, and left.
Okay.
Have they been back? Is it just one visit?
They haven't come back. But that, of course, is what Amalia tells you. She's the leader of the group. Amalia tells you that that's her greatest fear, is that they'll come back. Their plan is to bury the dead as best that they can, and then they're going to move north into the desert regions.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, rather, into the mountain regions.
So the people that are that were convicted, they're not from the native part, or
no, they were a part of your cadre of pirates.
okay. So would they be happy to know if we're going to go take vengeance on the people who did this, or would that help at all?
Yeah, they I mean, Amalia would be extremely happy to know that you're going to deal with the people that did this, but she cautions that she and her people cannot go to assist. They have
Yeah, they have to do.
yeah, they've taken too much loss at this point, and they've got too much that needs to be done to think about vengeance yet.
Okay.
Would they mind helping us put camouflage foliage and stuff over the ship so it wouldn't be so easily seen?
Well, I mean, technically, you don't have to. You have got a holographic hull.
Oh, yeah. Duh. No shit. We probably want to activate that, and if we're gonna go investigate, can we raft in with the grab or air raft?
I think we can spend a day helping them dig holes and shit. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck.
Yes, I would really like to help, and I don't know if we've got extra provision bars, maybe help them pack up efficiently so they can move safely. I'm into helping these guys out.
Yeah.
Especially since they recognize us. Before we send people off, maybe make sure they've got good vibes, because they might not be able to help us, but they can help protect us by, not saying that we're here if asked, if they run into anyone.
Yeah, you can certainly. I mean, any help you want to give, Amalia's more than thankful. I mean, and I mean, of course, you should have more than enough food. I mean, you've got a galley on your ship that is designed to carry more people technically than what you have aboard. So, if you've been doing a fairly good job of keeping it fully stocked, I would think that you would have more than enough food to make a decent meal for these people.
I can cook.
Yeah, and we can dig holes really well with our power armor on, I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys spend a day essentially digging graves, and Ting cooks them a meal, and you spend the day digging graves and basically standing aside and letting them go through a funerary process. You know, they've got their traditions to do as well. And then you spend a second day packing up whatever it is that they could possibly have left to take with them, and provisioning them for their journey. They're not thinking it's not very far. You can visually see the mountain ranges that they're going to be heading into. So
yeah, we could probably find them in the mountain ranges if we ever had to. I mean, or whatever.
Yeah. They want to stay here. I'm sure I'd offer them some place to go if I thought they'd want it, but they really like their planet. So yeah, that's rough.
So yeah, 2 days transpires, and then the question is, so there is a starport, which is where this jail is currently at. You could land that. You don't have to go in on the air raft. You can. That's entirely up to you.
I mean, looking at the Anubis, even if the transceiver says Anubis, it's still a fucking Sindalian Harrier. I mean, even if we...
Right. No matter what you do. I mean, it's always going to be a commerce raider. Not exactly a well-known class, but there can't be too many of these things around.
And the guy that is, chasing down our friends and stuff is looking for one.
Right.
So, I mean, I seriously don't think, I advise the raft. It's my vote.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to blow the cover of the Anubis quite that easily, so.
Yeah, you just paid for these documents. You just cleaned it, man. So.
Is the jail a ship?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's in the downport.
All right.
Or at the edge of the downport.
Do it.
So who's driving?
I am the Star Dragon Knight of Yair
That's
whatever.
True. Go ahead and make a flyer grav plus dex check.
Unless someone else wants to. I mean, I'm not trying to greed all the rolls.
Here's a better question aside from who's driving. Does Keith want to try and spend any time doing any mechanical work to the air raft before?
Yes, please. I would really like to clean this up.
That should be your only job when we're in jump space,
Yeah, we'll say that this actually happened in jump space. So, Keith, go ahead and make a mechanic plus intellect check. Intellect or education.
Okay. 10.
Okay, so you hammer out the dents. You kind of you're able to fix the front end damage from the last time that the grav lifters failed, and you are able to fix the grav lifters themselves. It's not perfect, but I mean, you're talking about an air raft that has probably rolled the odometer a couple of times. So, I mean, do grav vehicles have odometers? I imagine they have something.
Probably go by hours.
Yeah, go by hours, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, it's as good as it's going to get, but it's at least semi-reliable. But Ting is able to fly you across the water, so there's like a bay here, and I'll show you what. I don't think Ting has seen it, but this is essentially what Marduk Downport looks like. There's a small natural bay. Fishing and ocean-related work on Marduk is key. Is key part of their industry. Not so much like Chachila Weetakwe, but they do. There is a lot of currently. There's a lot of active research going on. These guys discovered that there is some kind of creature in the deep sea that may be intelligent. It's hard to say, but it's Kraken-like, or at least they saw tentacles.
Yeah, we remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. So I mean.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad to be reminded because I did not remember that at all.
Yeah, so there is some research going on. These creatures seem to be intelligent. So there are out of the downport a number of research vessels and things of that manner that are going out to try to research these lost gods of Marduk. And you guys are kind of cruising through the downport area, and so this actually over here on this plateau is the actual downport. It has everything that you could expect at a downport. It has a couple of things that are different in that there is, of course, an Astro Burger. There is an Advantage Hotel. And they discovered the last time that they were on Marduk that there is also a faction of the Church of the Mind, which is a small religious cult that claims that they know all the secrets to psionics, and that psionics are a form of divinity and all this other stuff.
I can't wait to meet them.
Well, the stuff that they found out about these guys, that most of it's mostly a pyramid scheme.
I've always wanted to be a deity.
Yeah, it's kind of set up like Scientology, where if you are at the bottom, you are nothing, and the more money you spend, the people above get richer, and you may or may not slowly move up the pyramid, gaining more power, and thus the people below you spend money and make you richer. It's along that line, but at no point have they ever proven that they know anything about psionics. The one point that these guys learned that was true was that they did know that there was a psionic institute on Blue, which you have confirmed at this point.
Right. Yep.
Beyond that, the Church of the Mind has so far proven useless. So are you going to drive around or past the holding cells?
I mean, can't people just kind of look at that as I go to something near where the market is?
Yeah. I mean, the jail is its own complex.
All right, I can fly that, kind of lazily to give everybody a good view, and then, cruise on into the market area where, then we don't really look conspicuous.
So this is the Marduk downport jail. It is kind of heavily armed. So up on each corner there is a guard tower, and of course there is a walkway. And the walkway, there are gunport fields of fire in and out of this port. You see that there is a large double door that leads in, and flying over above, you can see that this is probably processing for new prisoners. This is a guard tower that kind of overlooks most of the internal courtyard. There is a small infirmary here. This is a solitary confinement cell, and then this is the main prison block. So, how you guys want to go about this is really up to you.
I mean, as I cruise over, I'm just going to kind of land in the market area.
Okay.
How far away is? I mean, this is what we could, think about what we saw and talk. I mean, hovering above the jail yard, even in a raggedy little, it would look conspicuous in my opinion.
Oh yeah, they're gonna notice.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just gonna kind of give it, an intelligent why. I don't want to trigger any investigation into us. That it would serve nobody anything.
So yeah, it's about 3 kilometers from the starport. So it's far enough to be, away from the goings on of the starport, but not so far away that it's not a part of pretty much the only civilization on this planet.
So are these windows or doors?
They are technically they're windows, but they are essentially armored glass with gun barrel ports in them.
And so where's a door? How does anybody get in?
This is a door right here.
Oh, okay. I say we just storm it and fucking kill everybody in charge and let our people free.
I say that we watch the place and see what kind of services it comes in. If they're keeping people alive, then the people are needing things to make turds with, and so there's got to be some kind of supplies coming into the prison, and however that delivery mechanism is, I mean that seems like the way to go to get inside is just to ride in.
If we storm the place, we're just gonna get slaughtered, I think. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, I can fake voices with my shriek box, and I mean we can do all kinds of things to try to sneak in and attack the place from within.
Okay.
I would think.
So
We could wait for people to get off their shifts and murder them as they come out.
And take their fucking ID cards.
Yeah, there we go.
Devin was so nice and innocent when he first started playing this game, and now look at him. He's willing to murder people just so he could take their ID cards.
He's like the head of the murder hobos now.
He doesn't even want their credit cards or cash. Just give me your ID. So, everybody can make. So I need 3 rolls. Somebody needs to make a streetwise plus intellect, streetwise plus intellect check, a recon plus intellect check, and an investigation plus intellect check.
I have investigate 1.
I have streetwise 1.
I have recon 2.
All right, there you go.
Cool.
So I'm going to take it to the streets.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for her team to do this roll.
9.
Okay, so Ting, you take it to the streets, and so Marduk Downport is a little bit sparse on population. Most of the people are actually locals in the Star Town, but you do see that the Star Town has a bit of an underside to it, and you are able to basically grease the right palms. And when I say that,
You're going to make me subtract from my credit total.
yeah, you have to spend 1,000 credits, kind of greasing
All right.
palms and talking to the right people. But
I don't mind.
Keep your receipts.
Yeah,
Then you can submit to the bursar for reimbursement.
yeah. This is all tax deductible.
I don't worry about minor things like that. I'm about big money and big plays. These 1,000 I don't care. I wipe my ass with that receipt.
So you're streetwise. You're able to go through the seedier parts of the Star Town, and you are able to contact some very interesting you make some very interesting contacts. One of them is a local baker who has a drinking problem, and he tells you that he makes on at a certain time once a week he makes bread for the prison and has it delivered. Another contact that you make is somebody who does the laundry for the prison and tells you what day of the week that the laundry is transferred. Basically, they come in, deliver the fresh laundry, pick up the dirty loads, and leave.
Are these different days?
They are.
Okay.
So one happens like the laundry happens on a Sunday, whereas the bread is delivered for the week on a Wednesday. Who rolled investigation?
Got 12 on that.
Ooh, nice. So with your investigation check, you see that most of the guards, you're able to kind of, you pay attention around the town, and you're able to see that most of the guards they're not Imperial guards. They are actual locals. And that the guards that are really the large manning population of this prison, they don't live on site. They live in the Star Town. And you can tell that the guards change shifts every 8 hours.
All right.
And then Qingxi, you were going to make a recon check.
8.
So on your 8, so Qingxi, and this is especially appropriate because Qingxi does have the recon armor. You are able to see that in the courtyard itself of the prison, that there is some movement. You count 2 Imperial Marines in battle dress.
Okay.
And you automatically know they're Imperial Marines. You can't miss the crimson battle armor of Imperial Marines.
Right.
And they are armed with Gauss rifles.
Okay.
Nothing heavier than Gauss rifles. But, of course, they are in battle dress, so that's a bit concerning.
Yes.
This is a lower tech world, right?
It is... That is a very good question. Let's see here. Sindal, subsector... Whoops. So Marduk is... Yeah, their average tech level here is 5. Their starport's a class C. So, I mean, the starport isn't really anything to... it's nothing to write home about. I imagine it's a lot like the St. Louis airport.
So one thing we could do, possibly, is we could try to sneak around and do things to create the general staff of the jail to have a shortage. And we could apply on this low-tech thing and try to get jobs as security. And then just literally get invited in.
So the Marines never leave? Is the question I have?
So that is a good question. The Marines don't seem to be ever leaving. Unlike the regular guards, the 2 Marines are stationed on site. And I'll go a step further with Qingxi's 8 on her recon. They seem to be housed in the guard tower.
Okay, maybe we should, so during the shift change, at whatever 8-hour interval, we could attack the guard tower. Right?
Well, I mean, if you wanted to go in on the air raft. So these outer walls, this walkway on the outside here, these are like 10-meter high walls.
Okay, so I think we could do that on the air raft. So we could do this the smart way and get in. I don't think we really want to fuck with the residents of Marduk, but we want to like scare the shit out of the people who have to deal with the aftermath of the Marines. Like, we need to make it so that people are afraid to arrest people that are pirating with our people. It needs to scare them. They need to know that retribution will come and it'll be awful. So
so you're going for big explosions. This is going to be a Michael Bay movie.
So I have a few thoughts on that topic. One is if it's our battle dress versus their battle dress, we're going to be at this for a long time.
True, and there's 2 of them.
What I'm thinking is, does this, I mean, and I don't know how we would know, but does the prison have like an execution chamber? Because if there's like a gas chamber and we could trap the Marines in there rather than try and kill them ourselves, if we executed them in the prison's execution chamber, that might send the kind of message that you're talking about.
You don't see any
You're a big furnace.
Nope, you don't see anything like that.
Darn it.
If you get those Marines dead, I'll make sure I pose them in such a way that it'll send the message you want. I got you.
Well, you guys still have some EMP grenades, don't you?
We do. How much higher is the guard tower than the rest of the thing?
So the outer walls are 10 meters tall. The guard tower, the central part of the guard tower, is 20 meters tall.
Is there a way to hit it with like a weapon from the ship?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to go back to the ship, lift off, and you could.
That's pretty brutal, though.
You could hit it with just a standard missile, and it's going to ruin their day.
We don't even have to take off to shoot the standard missile, right? Just program it in and smile.
Yeah, you probably do want to take off though, because the missile turret is on the ventral side. So.
Okay, that's my vote for now. It's almost time to wrap up, so I guess we have a week to think on it.
Yes.
You have
a week to think on how you want to conclude breaking into a prison, and or how you want to go about sending a message. I love where this is going, because this is going to be this is going to be Star Wars Andor level shit. So yeah, you've got a week to consider this, and we will pick this up next week on Wednesday night at 7:00 for the next episode of the Pirates of Drinax.
Great.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
You
I'll
too.
see you Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will see you Friday at 7 for Deep Night Revelation.
Cool.
All
I had fun.
Have a good night, guys.